Sports and Apparel and Balboni Darts down at Tee Up. So if you're looking for dart supplies or for a good quality beer, come on down, guys. Bavota will wide on that bull, leaving the door open for Steve Krikorian here. Goes high and wide actually. Little high there, so not able to find it, but this is PDC Bull, so somebody has to hit it. We want to get things going here. One more shot here for Steve. Wide again. Not happy with that attempt at all. Big opportunity here for Bavota to lock in a serious advantage. And well low. Both guys, again, the nerves are real when you're playing in person with a little bit of a crowd developing behind you, cheering you on. Sometimes the dynamic changes, certainly changes from just playing at home. Start the layup line, says Jawa. Good to see you here, man. Hope you're doing well. And both guys not wanting to get in. One more time here for Steve Krikorian. One more time, you know. Fantastic Daft Punk song. One of these guys will get in there eventually. Finds the single bull. So here we are. Bavota now has to find at least one. Not able to get it done. So the game will finally start. Nick the sure shot. Soldo on the live comms there. The other side in the main hall area. And Steve Krikorian will be leading off here. Fantastic dart player. Shooting well into the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. Depends on how warmed up he is, but a lethal player. Chris Bavota has the game within him, but needs to put the pressure on early, and unfortunately the 22, not a great way to start the game, but still a long way to go. Looking for a better second visit here. Krikorian might be awkward. His darts land just a little flat, so trying to get around that second dart, force its way through, might be a tough ask. And Bavota spraying and praying, unfortunately. So close on finding that trip 19, but not a great visit. 21 found. Needs to settle himself if he wants to really have a chance here of putting pressure on Krikorian, who's just wiring these trebles. Not able to find anything. So again, what we've seen in the round robin, these guys were lights out. But when you put the pressure on of the cameras, the live commentary, the crowd, the dynamic changes immensely. And the pressure becomes real, ladies and gentlemen. It is no joke. Krikorian looking to find his way into the triple segment for the first time this game. Needs to drill that red bit. Finds it. Here we go. Finding the big ton. Bavota needs to follow if he wants to keep any semblance of pressure on. Not able to find that switch downstairs. So unlucky, so a big lead developing for Steve. Might be an awkward first start. If he chooses to stay there, I'm actually kind of surprised with that decision and can't find the switch over to the 18s either. So messy stuff. Not the best stuff from both gentlemen. Getting off the line here for our second game of the day. And a very, very poor average here for Chris Bavota, not putting up his best stuff. Even with all the big misses, Steve's still putting up a 62.8 so far. And that's a wide dart. Only able to find 81. So putting the pressure on, not really doing much of stunning the crowd here, but it's enough, and sometimes, well, that's enough. 106 needed here for Steve. Krikorian will choose to go up at those 20s, and he just goes wide. So 3 found, 103 remaining. 84 remaining. Caster math. Had that happen plenty of times. Happens all the time. Leaving himself 64. Bavota might find the 180 here, and he goes low. We've yet to see the 180. We have signs ready to go when someone hits one. Not able to find it there. Krikorian, 64 left. 56 now. Thinking about which way he wants to go. Finds the big 16 for double 20. And he finds it again. Like I said at the beginning of this game, the doubles are going to be so critical. Mid-range takes going to decide the winner of this game, in my opinion. And Steve delivering the goods after a little bit of a slow start. Bavota finally finding 3 straight darts, punching in that 60. Krikorian looking to respond if he can. The big visit. Second dart just high. Third dart not following the orders that were given to him. Bavota, a little bit of an opportunity here to punch his way ahead. And again, that switch down to the 19s has been so close. So close. Chris has a little bit of a wide swing. Steve a little bit more mechanical with his throw, so switching may be difficult, but the grouping just not there, unfortunately, for both gentlemen. 44 punched in for Krikorian. Bavota going down. Finds the double 19, oddly. And he finds the triple. So can't get it done on the 20s. Finds the triple-double on that 19 segment, pushing his score all the way down to 301. Sometimes it's not about wanting to get it done a certain way. It's just any way you can take it. A little bit of a score correction there, 282 for Bavota. And Steve looking to fill up the bet after a beautiful first start. 140 at the very least won it and pushes it well wide, 81. Steve hovering around 61 average. Chris finally finding his scoring power. Finding 85, dropping his score down. Just under 200, 331 remaining for Steve. Finds the first start right in the corner of that one segment. All over that Trip 20 segment. And again, we apologize for the shaky board. It's not us. It's actually the HVAC system here at Tee Up Tap Room rattling that camera around. So that'd be rather cruel at the Worcester Premier League if we had a moving board these guys had to hit. That would suck. That would be terrible. We're not that cruel and mean here, the WPL. Steve Krikorian, 296 remaining now. Not able to get it done with that first start. So a little bit of panic might be coming into the mind here of Steve as he's just not wiring these treble segments. Wrong side. And 156 remaining for Bavota. Blocks the segment with that first start. Elects to keep those darts straight, but maybe not the best decision considering the way that those darts landed. Leaving himself 115. This is an opportunity now for Steve. If he can find a big visit, put some pressure on, even two trebles will be enough here. At least tap Chris on the shoulder, but nothing coming easy for Steve. And Chris, again, needs to take advantage. Can't let Steve crawl his way back into this game. Going back upstairs to the 20 segment. And that loose third dart has plagued so many players all day. Comes down to just keeping yourself steady mentally. Big treble found there. 80 scored, second dart just high, and he finds the big third dart. 134 found, so there's the pressure. This 75 needs to go 72 now. Trip 12, potentially. Way to go. 60 remaining, tried to go for it, and the third dart well high, and that's a wasted burn dart. A bad dart. 84 is a serious threat here. Steve has taken these out time and time again. He needs to keep calm. 14, or will he stay? Respects it, so trip 14 found for Steve Krikorian. Eyeing up. Double. Oh, 11, not able to get it done. So, Chris Bavota, big opportunity, 60 remaining. And that is a terrible, terrible second dart. Again, the quick throw, wide arc makes it so difficult to follow. Krikorian now on double 11. A little awkward double, but comes to a point where no doubles are awkward if you reach a certain point down the 3 segment. For double 4, this would be a statement double. Needs to find it for his own self-confidence. Can't do it. Did not want to give Bavota that opportunity, that look. And if you feel that, double 9 now for Bavota on that double 7 finds, a little awkward there. And he gets it done with the second dart. So I would say opportunities given away there from Steve Krikorian, allowing Bavota to find his way into that leg. We have a tied game, ladies and gentlemen. Again, this set is first to 3 legs. Winner needs 2 sets to move on to the semifinal game. 57 found there from Steve Krikorian. Bavota needing to just keep his darts straight in a line if he can. 41 fired in. So Steve, again, not playing to his potential, you have to feel. He's a fantastic player. This is the Season 1 champion, ladies and gentlemen. No slouch. Competes in tournaments all over New England, all over the United States, and even competes internationally. So he's used to high-pressure games, high-pressure situations, but sometimes you just have an off day, and it's unfortunate, but still a long way to go here. And Chris Bavota not putting too much pressure on. 45 found. Krikorian looking to just find those trebles. Finds it with that second dart and not able to keep the dart elevated. So a ton found, but the way that third dart dropped, won't be happy with it. And again, Bavota not able to keep his darts in a line. 26 found spray and pray. Needs to find the correction sometime soon if he wants to keep the pressure on. Did very well to take advantage of the opportunity in the previous leg, but as this game moves on and Steve starts to get his arm warmed up, you feel that this is going to be a harder and harder game for Bavota to fight his way back into if he keeps letting these poor scores plague his legs. Smart move to go down there the way that second dart landed. 83 found, dropping his score down to 306. Krikorian 229. Looking to get within range here. That's a beautiful first dart. Second dart might be in there as well. Going downstairs, 139 found, so a huge visit there from Krikorian to drop his score down to 90. Bavota needs to fill this up. 140 minimum for some pressure. And even then, the ton is not enough. 90 remaining now for Krikorian. Trip 18 or, yeah, elected to go for trip 18. Cross to double. Oh, triple 16. Wanted that so bad. Will stay there. Leave himself handy. 50 scored. Leave himself 40. So close on that triple. My goodness. Now Bavota just trying to get down. Not able to find much of anything helpful there. So Krikorian, big opportunity now. Double 20 for a 2 legs to 1 advantage here. Going downstairs to double 10. Not able to get it done with that second dart. Pulling it inside. And he pulls it well outside, actually. So a little bit of an errant dart, misbehaving dart. Give that dart a spank on the bottom and a good talking to, because that did not listen at all. Krikorian, double 10 needed now. Wants another shot at this and wants it to go first dart. And he does find it first dart. So a little bit of trouble finding that double. One might even say double trouble. But we have a 2 legs to 1 advantage here for Steve. Chris not wanting to go down one set so quickly. Will be fighting, trying to keep his grouping steady. 66 punched in. Steve just looking to do more of the same, really. Again, if you were just tuning in, the board is not shaking for the players. It's unfortunately the camera that we have pointing at the board. That is a rather poor start there from Steve Krikorian. Not his best work. Bavota an opportunity here to keep on drilling some numbers. Not able to deliver the goods, only finding 30. So both guys in a little bit of an awkward phase in this game where we've seen some good doubling, we've seen some good scoring. Both guys are capable of it, but it comes down to the consistency, and that is so hard to do when the environment that you're used to playing in changes. These guys are so used to playing here at Tee-Up Tap Room, playing locally, but the scenario, the situation in which they're playing and what they're playing for, a spot in Season 4, makes it so difficult to really focus up and keep that arm in line. Steve Krikorian, 369 remaining after 2 visits. Wants to keep his dart steady. Going downstairs, not able to find the switch. That's a poor third dart. Gives an opportunity here for Bavota. If he can find a triple or 2, really ask some questions of Steve. And again, that third dart just raising its way out of the segment that he was looking at. So an even game, not the best of games, and still a way to go here. 40 found for Krikorian, wants to drop it down, but he pushes it wide again, and that's a threat. I don't like that third dart from Steve. 2 darts in there, blocking the bed, just move. So much more real estate, just like Bavota has been hunting for this entire time, finding that 78. Don't try and force the dart if it refuses to go. Krikorian looking to put some hurt right back on that 78 from Bavota. And those errant darts, just persistent, just pesky. Pesky pests here at Tee-Up Tap Room. Try saying that 5 times fast. I can't. Unfortunately, Bavota only finding 24, which really opens the door here for Krikorian to take a massive lead in front. If he can find even a single treble, he's hunting for it. Split the middle, Steve. Looks like he just goes high on that third dart. So 140 to 217. Not all done and dusted for Bavota, but he needs a treble. Should go downstairs. That is not a good line. And he can't find the 17. Hoping to leave himself 170, or sorry, excuse me, 160. Krikorian just low on that first dart, not in there. So 120 remaining now, just looking to set himself up, wants the ton. And again, 60 found, so scoring just difficult for people right now. Not able to really have any help from the scoring portion of the game. Both players. Steve requiring 80. Might go double-double, might go triple here. We'll see. And that is probably the worst start that you can throw, ladies and gentlemen. 79 remaining now for Steve, who finds 7, so just struggling to get it done. 72 now. Finds 24 on that third dart, leaving himself 48. 128 now for Chris. First dart's going to kill the chance of the bid. And just unlucky. Very, very poor grouping there for Chris Bavota. You can tell that he's not satisfied with the way that he's been throwing. Double 16 now for Steve Krikorian, and he gets it done. 3 legs to 1 here in the opening set, so Chris, again, from the onset, knew that the doubles were going to be the opportunity to try and rattle the cage of Steve Krikorian. Not able to get it done. Grouping just not there. But still another set. More opportunities now for Bavota. Needs to focus up, get his arm in line if he wants to keep his hopes of qualifying for Season 4 alive. Krikorian with another errant dart, finding 41. So unlucky. And Bavota able to find the big ton. Great darts there. Puts the pressure on Steve to answer with something big of his own. Again, Steve has a very flat-lying dart that's in there. Wants to try and have a friend join the party. Can only find the ton and answer. But when your darts land so flat, it can be sometimes so difficult to get around them. And not able to find, well, much of anything there in that visit. Chris Bavota struggling here. Krikorian just doing enough to get by and just keep this march towards the end of the leg here. Moving steadily at a decent pace. 317 now for Bavota. Needs a treble if he wants to try and keep this level. 60 will do, but a gap is widening now for Steve, who just wants to keep this marching along. Doesn't want to give Bavota any more loose chances like he did in the first set. Let him steal a leg off of him. I'm not really so convinced so far from both of these guys. Again, I've seen them play at a much higher standard. It might just be the situation. It might be the pressure. It might just be an awkward game. When you have these types of games where nothing seems to be going easy, it's tough. Tough to dig yourself out of that trough that you find yourself in, but Steve looking to drop the dart in. Pulls it wide again. 45, just brutal. And on a bogey number 165, Bavota, big opportunity to get down to an out first. 59 found there from Chris Bavota, leaving himself 157, leaving himself a chance. But if Steve can hit a nice ton plus here to set himself up beautifully, puts the entire world of pressure on Chris. Only able to find 160, so not an easy ask from Steve Krikorian. 105, 157. This is incredibly difficult, and Bavota is not going to be able to find it. Only able to find 47. 105 now for Steve Krikorian coming up. Which way is he going to go? Well, there's the 5 taken care of. And 99 remaining now, so the darts just not cooperating easily at all. 13 scored. Another look here for Chris Bavota. The errant darts are just killing the chances of both these guys. 5 found, so brutal. Messy, 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 messy stuff. Somebody get Mr. Cleanup in this place because this is nasty darts and not in the good way. Steve looking to clean up this mess if he can. Well, he can't get it done now. Just wanting to set it up. 44. We'll leave him 48. Basically saying to Chris Bavota that he can't get it done. And, well, Steve is correct in that assumption, unfortunately, for Chris. And Chris really just struggling here, falling apart. Another poor visit. Leaving Krikorian 48 now. This was a surefire shot last time around. Up to double 20. Down to double 10 now. Wired that double 20, and he gets it done with that third dart. So Steve Krikorian breaking Chris Bavota in the opening leg of this set. Looking for a 2-legs-to-none advantage, putting himself in prime position to face off against Mike Parisi if he can find 2 more legs. And that's a great way to get this leg underway. 121 is perfect. And Chris Bavota looking to try and answer. Needs to find a treble. Finds the wrong treble, unfortunately, only finding 40. So massive opportunity for Krikorian if he can just keep this going straight and steady. And we've seen that multiple times where the first start, just on the wrong side of the wire, looking for that 19, pulls it well wide. Bavota, 2 in there, not able to find the 180. We have yet to see a 180 so far today. Massive opportunity for the signs to be broken out. Steve Krikorian looking for his own ton 80. 2 in there, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, and the 140 is found. Nothing else. Tough, tough stuff there. Scoring out of nowhere for both guys, and that's what's been so frustrating with this game is that we know the game is there. We know it's there, but it's just been tough for these guys to bring it out. You have a feeling that in a couple of next couple of matches here, the scoring is going to go just absolutely ballistic. Steve Krikorian, 117 remaining. Bavota all the way back on 295. Not been the easiest game for Chris, who has been struggling the entire time. Krikorian, 117, Master Chief's number. Finds 51. Leaving himself 66. Ooh, leaving himself 56 now. Just missed that trip 10 to leave himself tops. Great bid there from Steve. Leaves himself very handy with 40 left. Bavota all the way back on 248. Not happy with the way that dart landed at all. And more or less lining Krikorian up for an easy double 20 take. 3 darts in hand. First dart just high. Wants to use that as a guide. Going down to double 10. Doesn't want to mess this up. And not the most awkward thing in the world. I would think it would be more awkward if he hit the single 10. Drop dart there from Bavota. Might be nerves. Taking a breath. And finds 3 in that segment, 57. So he's in range now, but is Steve going to give him the opportunity to have another look? Sources say it's doubtful. Needs to pull it inside with the second dart. And that is game shot there from Steve Krikorian. So here we go here. Chris Bavota, desperation mode needed now. Finds a big, big visit there to lead things off in this third leg. Steve Krikorian needs to answer with a big visit of his own if he wants to have a chance of at least putting the pressure on, keeping Chris honest. It's not even so much about pressure anymore. It's just keeping the gentleman honest. Bavota finding these troubles out of nowhere, it seems. Scoring has been so difficult for him so far this afternoon. It seems to be just now picking up. Krikorian can't afford to let Chris start building some hope, building some faith. It's the hope that kills you, but sometimes it's the hope that also makes the comeback alive. First dart, second dart, just around it. 3 straight darts will do. 402 to 279, Bavota with a big advantage in this leg. Steve Krikorian looking to, well, just keep these darts in line if he can. Finds the big triple 20, so needs another. 81 will be enough to just tap Chris on the shoulder, but can't afford more darts like that. That's 2 darts in that one segment. Third dart barely holding on. Very awkward lie on that third dart. And now Krikorian, 321 remaining. First dart is golden. Second dart going well high. Might have clattered against those flights, and the ton will be quite serviceable. 221 remaining, keeping Chris honest, like we said, who got away on this leg in quite spectacular fashion, but has been struggling to keep the momentum going, which is just so difficult to do. 221 remaining now. Looks like a single one might have been found there. 61 found, I believe. The 121 is going to be excellent there from Steve Krikorian, leaving himself a solid ton. One time you don't want to hit a 180s when you have it left. And 43 found there from Chris Bavota. In range, but it might be over. If Krikorian can find the triple, double-double will be the way. And it won't go this time, but he will leave himself handy with 40 remaining. 137 to save his skin. Chris Bavota will not get the look at it. And it seems like this will be a frustrating and disappointed 2-0 exit here from Bavota. If Krikorian can find this double 20, needs to bring it a little low. And he finds it, and that's the game. Ladies and gentlemen, Chris was struggling with his scoring the entire time. Steve, enough to get it done. You feel like there's a lot left in the tank for Steve, and he's going to need it.